Why I have become an extreme minimalist as of the past 3 to 4 years. I want to share my perspective on this and why I embrace the minimalist lifestyle and why I believe that you might want to as well. And so there's a few different reasons that I'll go over in this video as far as why I live a very minimalist lifestyle. And I try my best to own as little physical things as possible where I live, right? So currently right now, I live at this current place. I live alone right now. And I moved out of my parents' place about like the end of 2023, like the day after Christmas was when I moved out, and I've been living by myself ever since, at this place, right? So I had previously moved out prior to that, and I lived in like a couple different Airbnbs for like a full year. That's a whole other story in itself, but the main reason why I went that route compared to trying to get my own place right away was just because of the fact that, I liked that that the places came fully furnished right away. And when it came to like getting your own apartment, the whole idea is like you gotta verify that you gotta make a certain amount of income, you gotta verify you make 3 times the rent, and then you gotta furnish the place, then you gotta do credit score and all that, and yeah, it's a whole other hassle in itself. So yeah, the whole Airbnb thing kind of seemed appealing to me because it's like, okay, I could just pay for a place for, a month here and then go a month there. And then, and then it was really nice. I could just, pack everything up in a bag and then just kind of live, in a specific place for about a year. So I had, I was working a liquor store job for about a year. And then I do digital marketing on the side, right? So, I make some money online with that. And then toward the end of 2022, my business started doing very well. I started making, a couple $1,000s a month, and I thought, okay, I could live on my own and I can quit my job. So I did that at the end of December of that year. And then I lived by myself for almost an entire year, just doing my online business. And then that was until my business income went kind of down a bit because I lost a bunch of social media accounts simultaneously. And then right at that same time, my rent went way up. So the place that I was staying at, the Airbnb that I was in, 1 month it was like $1,100 a month or something like that, $1,100 or $1,200 or I think like $1,300. And then it went up to like $1,500, and then it was like $2,000 the next month. So it kind of got to the point where okay, I wasn't getting as much traffic, I wasn't getting as much income coming in, that I had to move back home for a bit. I went back to regular 9 to 5, and then, a few months later, then I moved out again, right? So then I've been living at this place ever since, right? So I want to talk about why, ever since I've moved out, I've been really embracing the extreme minimalist lifestyle. So when I was living with my mom, I had all my video games and stuff, and I had like a bunch of physical media, which I definitely value that. And, I definitely value physical media. However, the thing that I've noticed was the more stuff that I collected, whether it was video games, whether it was, just clothing or, just a bunch of stuff, like as I've collected stuff like books and all that, the more stuff that I've just had sitting in my room, oftentimes I felt more, I guess you could say, stressed, and I felt less productive overall when it came to working on stuff, right? So outside of outside of my job, during my free time, I've always liked to work on ways of making money online, just because of with cost of living rising up, that I've always tried to stay as busy as I possibly can so that I could live more comfortably in the long term. So that's always kind of been my mindset. And so I've definitely sacrificed the social aspect of my life, quite a bit, because of how focused I would get on, just making money basically, right? So, and I see more people living that way nowadays, and that just because of how unaffordable life is for most Americans right now, with inflation, with it becoming a lot harder to live comfortably on your own, and with wages not really keeping up. I believe that if you're in America right now, you kind of have to be obsessed with making money to an extent. especially if you're a younger person, if you're just entering the workforce, you're not really going to live a comfortable life if you just are working just regular jobs, 40 hours a week, unless if you happen to get like a really high paying job and if the cost of living isn't as high in, where you happen to live. So if you are lucky enough to get into a position like that, then you could probably do pretty well. But I believe for most people, you are going to want to go into some sort of trade, or you're going to want to, do the job hopping thing and always be looking for the next high paying position. Or for a lot of people, it's going to be doing something online where you have the location freedom. And so I believe that location freedom is one of the best things that you can have, especially as a young person right now, just because you can live wherever you want and not be at the mercy of whatever is happening where you currently live. And so that's also with the division happening right now. But as far as why I decided to live as a minimalist, one of the main reasons why is because, like I mentioned, having more stuff I feel kind of stresses me out. And currently right now at the current place that I live, I live in a, like a 1 bedroom. It's like the upper half of a duplex. So there's like one, tenant that lives below me. And then, then I pretty much, live here. So yeah, I just got like a living room here that I'm sitting in right now, kitchen, dining area, and then bedroom, and then bathrooms right behind me. So, not like a super small space, it's not like shoebox by any means, but, it's a decent size apartment for just like one person, maybe 2 people, I guess you could say. And one thing that I think about, especially as it becomes a lot harder to actually own a place and start a family, and where I see that's kind of becoming less attainable for the average person, less people want to get married because of cost of raising a family. I very much see myself at some point traveling more, and I believe that the more stuff that I own physically, then the harder it is for me to actually like move around, right? So that is, I would say, the main reason why I try to live as, I guess you could say, with as less as possible. And although I could go the whole route of like getting a storage unit or storing stuff at my parents' place, it's just a whole other stuff that I got to worry about, right? And so that's kind of why I in a way, like one other thing that I'll share about myself is when it comes to like holidays, like Christmas and birthdays and all that, I oftentimes don't even like to receive presents at all. And one example that I'll give is like last Christmas, I was given like like one of these like flannel shirts, right? My grandma got me like a blue flannel shirt, and when I looked at it, it's funny, like the sticker that was on it, like the size of it, it said like extra large, and I looked at it and like, I mean, of course I'm medium size, as you could probably tell. I kind of looked at it, I'm like, wait, it's extra large, and my grandma's like, oh, it'll fit you, it'll fit, right? So I tried it on. It felt like really loose. I'm like, kind of, I guess. So then I just kind of put it back in my Christmas bag. And then funny thing is, I haven't worn it since, and I feel kind of bad. And so it's like, it's one of those things where if I throw it out, I'll feel bad. If I could have like traded it in, but it's like, then I have like this guilt feeling. So it's kind of like, if I'm given something, I feel like I have to really show that I like really like it, even if I'm like, but it's like, the thing is with me is like, if I really want something, especially after, once you, start working and you start making your own money, then you kind of care less about like receiving gifts. And so that's kind of the phase that I've kind of went in. So it's like when I was, during my years in school, basically, I remember like being super excited about Christmas. Like that was like the number one thing I would look forward to, is like, oh, getting the new video game and stuff. But now it's kind of like, if I really want something, I could seek out the exact, variation of, something that I want. I can buy like the exact shirt that I want if I really want it. But oftentimes whenever I am looking at stuff to buy, like for example, I collect a lot of these like shirts, and I'm looking at like, one of the sites to buy on, I will often like consciously question myself, like, do I really need this extra shirt? Like, do I really need it? right? And oftentimes the answer is no, but once in a while I'll buy like one shirt here and there. But even then, if I do buy more shirts, I will aim to, sometimes I'll just throw stuff out if I am not really using it, because then I don't really want to go with the extra step of like selling it. It's like too much extra work for me, basically. So yeah, maybe you could say I'm lazy for that reason, but I like owning less stuff because of that. So yeah, I also am very much looking into like the digital nomad like type of lifestyle. So I definitely see myself traveling to other countries, at some point, like traveling overseas, visiting Southeast Asia and stuff, Eastern Europe. I definitely want to explore a few countries in those areas. And that's one thing that I think about a lot as well. So yeah, I'm thinking like very much in the long term. I'm even that way with like owning a vehicle. So one other fun fact about me is I did not get my license until I was 24 years old. That was, and the main reason I got my license is because my grandpa, shortly before he passed away, he just said like, hey, just go to driver's ed, get your license, I'll pay for it basically. And then shortly after he passed away, unfortunately. So I ended up getting my license at the end of that year. But the last time that I actually drove was the day that I passed the driver's exam. And so I don't own a car because again, it's another thing that I got to worry about getting rid of if I want to travel around more. So yeah, with it becoming harder to actually like own a home, I don't really see a point in staying in one area long term, especially when it comes to, raising a family. Ideally, in my mind, I want to go to where it is more affordable to live. I want to, figure out like where is an actual home base that I want to set up. And that is the main thing that I'm thinking about, first and foremost. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think of this take? And if you agree or disagree with me, or if you have anything that you want to add on top of this, and if you think I'm completely wrong for whatever reason, then let me know as well. But let me know if you are in a similar boat as me. I'd really be interested to hear how many other people are like that, the same way that I am. And I'd really be interested to hear your take. Give us a thumbs up. And if you want to check out what I do to make money online, then you could also check out the link down below, and you can learn more about what I do if you want to maybe add another income stream to what it is that you are currently doing. So that being said, hope you enjoyed, and take care. See you in the next one.